I will tell my story.
I arrived in Moscow.
I was supposed to work at a shampoo production factory.
I came for a treatment.
The police took me from there, and they brought me to the army. It was all done by force. What Russia is doing violates all laws.
I'm ready to take responsibility to spread information about this fraud among youth in various countries.
Kremlin continues to recruit citizens of various countries who, for various reasons, find themselves in Russia, using money, deception, or force, and send them to war with Ukraine. Proof of this can be found in the foreigners captured by Ukrainian soldiers.
Kenya, that's two.
Muhammadian Khatibi, Iran. Mutai Felix, 28, Kenya.
Colombia.
In this episode, you will hear the story of two such Africans who ended up in the Russian army, but were lucky enough to be captured and survive. Greetings. We are the K2 Battalion, together with the 118th Territorial Defense Brigade and the adjacent battalions, the 1st Mechanized and the 1st Rifle Battalion of the 54th Brigade. 2 prisoners were captured in the Siversk area. 2 prisoners. From which country?
Cameroon.
I'd like to add that during the evacuation of one of the prisoners, namely Anatole Frank, 2 of our soldiers were wounded when a Russian drone spotted our attempts to evacuate Frank from the battlefield. It arrived, wounded him and our 2 soldiers as well. Right, Frank? These are not the first mercenaries we've captured in the Siversk area. There are also someone from Yemen. According to them, there are also people from Zimbabwe, Bangladesh, and China. That's why we don't stop.
Hello, my name is Metujin Unana Jean Parfait. I am a prisoner of war.
My name is Anatole Frank. I'm from Cameroon.
I will answer your questions and tell my story.
Yes, I want to be recorded on video to share my story. I want to tell how I came to Russia and how I ended up here.
I was treated as a living weapon. I created a document about this to inform people about the deception. I will tell everyone that this is illegal and deceitful. What Russia is doing violates all laws.
I'm ready to take responsibility to spread information about this fraud among youth in various countries.
I'm from Cameroon. I arrived in Moscow in March.
I arrived in Moscow on August 15th, 2024. I had return tickets booked in advance.
Upon arrival at the Moscow airport, I wanted to exit, but someone called me. They checked my passport and took me to an office. They took my fingerprints and a mouth swab. They put me in a waiting room. They asked why I came to Moscow. I said I came for work and showed my documents, my ticket and hotel reservation. I told them how many days I planned to stay.
I also have dental issues, so I came for a treatment. I had a return ticket for August 28th. To my surprise, the border officer called me and other men to an office.
il y avait tout un tas de gars aussi. On m'appelle dans un bureau.
They took more fingerprints and a jaw impression. They told me what to do. I refused. They blocked me and didn't let me go back.
After some time, they took me to a prison cell in Moscow. The airport police later took me from there. And they brought me to the army. It was all done by force.
We landed at 8 a.m. and they let us go at 4 p.m. When we left, 2 soldiers were outside.
À 16 heures, on trouve deux militaires dehors.
A vehicle was waiting. They put us inside. They drove me somewhere unknown. We were on the road for almost 2 days.
They drove us in the direction of a base. I didn't know where I was going or what was happening.
We arrived at a building where they locked us up for another 2 days. It was about 11 stories tall. A few days later, they put us in military uniforms and said, "You're joining the army." I said I wanted to go back, but they forced me to sign a contract.
They gave me a choice: join the army. Around March 22nd, they took my documents and belongings and changed my clothes.
They said I had to sign the contract. I said I wouldn't join the army. I said I want to return home. I repeated this many times. God is my witness. I really wanted that. But they kept insisting. I said, I don't understand the language or the purpose. How could I fight? But I ended up signing it.
After arriving to Moscow, they trained me for 2 weeks. Then we went to Rostov to continue training. In Rostov, I trained for another week. After that, they took us to Luhansk. I stayed in Luhansk for a month. They made it clear we were signing a contract. The contract was for 1 year. For 1,100,000 rubles. That's a bit over 7 million in local Cameroonian currency.
Then we were moved to another building, and 2 days later, back into uniform. They took us to a training center in Rostov. That was at the end of August. We trained for 2 more weeks, and were then assigned to different brigades. It all happened at night. We didn't know where we were being taken. We arrived at a base and trained there for another 10 days.
That's a lot of money for me. I came here to work. Back home, we earn about 30,000 to 50,000 CFA francs. I didn't come here to fight. After I arrived at the airport, they forced me to join the army. I was supposed to work at a shampoo production factory.
I assure you, during training, I was constantly crying. I couldn't sleep. I felt something terrible was coming. I had a panic attack. I couldn't wrap my head around it. They took me to a psychologist because I was in a very bad state.
How many people did you kill?
I didn't kill anyone. It was my first time ever going anywhere.
I told the commander I couldn't do this. He understood me and didn't send me into combat for 7 months.
Il m'a gardé pendant pratiquement 7 mois. Parce que moi, je ne partais pas.
I never went on combat missions because I didn't know how. God hears me when I say this. I am a Christian. Here are my hands. I raise them up and swear I have never killed anyone.
C'était la toute première mission.
After the bunker was bombed, I walked for 6 days and 6 nights. I was walking without knowing where to go. It was near a bridge. I climbed up onto it. There were lots of attacks, drones flying overhead. I kept walking. There were many dead bodies, too. I reached the level of a destroyed railway bridge. Then a Ukrainian soldier called out to me. I walked toward him and lay down on the ground. The whole time I had been hiding in bushes as I moved.
In March, the commander told me I was going on a mission. We were sent to the 6th Brigade. We arrived there. They told us to move forward. I said, I don't know where I'm going. They told me just to go forward. I didn't know what to do.
All I wanted was to meet someone. Ukrainian or Russian, doesn't matter. I just wanted someone to spare my life. So I prayed to God to keep me alive. I didn't want to return to the places I had been. I will answer honestly. It's not easy to surrender when you see a soldier in front of you. At first, their attitude was somewhat harsh. But during my transfer, they explained where they were taking me and who would receive me. I really appreciated that. I knew what was happening. I'm grateful they gave me food and drinking water. They often ask me if everything is okay. I say yes, everything is fine. I have no complaints right now.
It was nighttime. I didn't know where to go, but they said to move forward. They gave me a radio. As I walked, there were drones overhead. It rained for 3 days. I was in the rain. At some point, I hid under a bush. Then, I decided to head in the direction of voices. A man asked me who I was. The day I was evacuated, the car was outside. As we walked to the car, 2 men held me. Suddenly, I stopped. That moment, there was a powerful explosion. I felt blood in my lower body and lost feeling in my legs. We crawled on our knees to hide in a basement. The men escorting me were also wounded, but I didn't notice right away. It was night, and a Russian drone dropped something on us. That's what the escorts explained. In Ukraine, I was treated kindly. I was taken to a place where I stayed for 2 days. They treated me well, and I was in a safe place. These crutches were given to me here. You can see my bandaged wounds. They change the bandages twice a day, in the morning and before bed. They gave me a place to sleep, a mattress. I have no complaints. Regarding food, there's no problem. I eat, and even have drinking water.
Of course, we understand that Russia is the aggressor, and Ukraine is defending itself against this aggression.
In every sense, Russia is a very cold country. They have one barrier that I really hate. It's called racism. Sorry for bringing this up again, but the problem is real. It was hard to live there.
I never want to end up in Russia again.
The prejudice I faced there. Everyone stigmatizes you and orders you around. Go there, do that. Their attitude was just terrible.
To me, they traumatized me, even during the combat training. You don't understand what's happening. They traumatized me, and I'm still dealing with the consequences. To me, they are bad people.
I have a mother, a father, and my wife. My children are really waiting for me. I have two children, Messina Mbala Gabriel, my first son, second, Mofu Imaran Daniel. I really want to go home, but I do not want to return to Russia.
If you are interested in today's episode and would like me to continue doing episodes like this next, then let me know by hitting the like button and leaving a comment. You can support the author by the details in the description. Thank you.